It's been announced that the Prime Minister and the Health Secretary have both tested positive for coronavirus. Boris Johnson says he has mild symptoms and will self-isolate in Downing Street, but will still lead the government response to the crisis. The Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, is also self-isolating. Our political correspondent, Leila Nathu, has the story. Just to tell you that her report contains some flash photography.
Something urgent for the Prime Minister's top advisor this morning. His boss has contracted coronavirus.
I've developed mild symptoms of the coronavirus, that's to say a temperature and a persistent cough. And on the advice of the Chief Medical Officer, I've taken a test. That has come out positive, so I am working from home, I'm self-isolating, and that's entirely the right thing to do, but be in no doubt that I can continue, thanks to the wizardry of modern technology, to communicate with all my top team to lead the national fight back against coronavirus.
Last night, the Prime Minister joined people across the country in paying tribute to NHS staff. He received the positive test result not long after, at midnight. His neighbour, the Chancellor Rishi Sunak, has not displayed any symptoms, so has not yet been tested. MPs have been following social distancing rules in Parliament, but the Prime Minister has been in close contact with others leading the government's response to the outbreak. Ministers and Number 10 staff have been told they don't have to self-isolate unless they start displaying symptoms. Boris Johnson will be self-isolating in the flat in number 11 Downing Street for 7 days. He is still leading the government's response to the coronavirus outbreak. Should his condition worsen, the Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab will take charge. The last time Boris Johnson saw the Queen in person was on the 11th of March. Earlier this week, they spoke by phone. The Prime Minister will be relying more heavily on technology to carry out government business in the coming days.
And let's talk to Leila at Westminster this lunchtime. So the Prime Minister and the Health Secretary, Leila, talk us through some of the implications of this.
Well, Jane, just in the last few minutes, we've had confirmation that the Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, has also contracted coronavirus. He has tested positive for it. The results came back this morning. He is now working from home after developing mild symptoms on Wednesday night. And I think that is the point worth stressing, that both the Health Secretary and the Prime Minister have described themselves as having mild symptoms. So although they are self-isolating, they are both still very much involved in the government response to this coronavirus outbreak. Now, clearly there will have to be some adjustments in terms of using video technology. We've already seen cabinet meetings, for example, conducted over video conferencing. The press conferences, the daily press briefings that we've become used to have also now become video conferences. So although there are contingency plans in place should the Prime Minister's condition worsen, it is clear that he is very much in charge of leading the operation for now, given that he only has mild symptoms.
All right, Leila, thank you. Leila Nathu there at Westminster.